Hey, everybody. Welcome. Happy Monday. I hope you're doing fantastic. I'm jumping into this broadcast later than usual, but I wanted to really be specific and really be focused on what we're going to talk about today. Today's topic I really wanted to cover includes some of the principles in the book that I am currently finishing called The Four Irrefutable Laws of High Performance and Accountability. Blech, that's a long name. That's a long title. Don't worry, we're working on an even shorter title for you guys, but The Four Irrefutable Laws, they're indispensable. You cannot diffuse them, that help you achieve higher levels of performance in your life, in every area of your life, as well as help you through your accountability systems. I want to get into this topic because this week I've made it a commitment to myself and I've made it a commitment to you that each day there's going to be a specific outcome. There's going to be a specific call to action. And I hope that those calls to action lead you to make money. I hope that they lead you to improve your life. I hope that they help you to relieve some anxiety and some stress. But whatever I lead you to do, I hope that it, one, helps you build your foundation stronger so that your relationships and your friendships are a lot better. And because they're a lot better, you'll be able to prosper more in your life. Today's discussions and conversations include a topic that I get really passionate about. As I'm rereading Think and Grow Rich at the moment, I'm learning so much about the human capacity, right? And the human capabilities. And for some reason along the way of our journey as children, adolescents, prepubescent adults, and to older adults, we begin to build up a dialogue in our brain and in our hearts of negativity that cause us to believe that we're not worth what we actually dream of having and achieving for ourselves. And that in itself is extremely difficult for a lot of people. You see, I relate so much with Napoleon Hill because there was a point in my life where I needed to up-level my networking game. And it was right out of college. I realized that I was only going to get jobs if I knew people in higher places. Otherwise, I could get a degree, and I could get that degree and basically get paid less than I would if I were working just a regular retail or get a regular sales job outside of college that had nothing to do with my degree, because my degree said I could only make $35K out of college, and I had to work my way up through the system and, through tenure, make my way up the ranks, and then earn my keep, earn my earnings. And I see this happening in a lot of environments, and not just the degree and in the environment that I chose to study and I delved into study into, but I see it in a lot of industries. And I relate with Napoleon Hill because the minute I got to taste what a real mastermind was all about, okay, sitting across the table, conversing with one another, telling each other about our challenges, brainstorming to find solutions within the resources that we had access to, being introduced and referred to by other professionals, taking action on the things that were discussed, and coming back and reporting with accountability in mind. That opened up my brain and in my heart to high performance. In so much, I tested it. I tested it so much that it led me to triple my income in one year. It allowed me to start multiple ventures and businesses. It put me into a circle of people who were much, much wealthier and much more important than I was currently networking with, and a few other things that it caused me to do. But literally, I got a taste of the better side of business that I didn't realize before was capable and was available. And because I had seen a taste of what truth of my dreams could look like, rather than the supposed reality that we create in our heads, I realized that if I do not follow this path of greatness, then I will live a life of misery. If I choose to live a life and settle for mediocrity, that I will truly be miserable because I have tasted the fruit. I had tasted and I had seen and I had witnessed the accounts that come from those who actually achieve their greatness, who actually achieve parts of their goals, who can actually overcome challenges and find areas of their life where they will succeed and find pure joy and happiness. Now, I will say that success isn't revolving around joyfulness and happiness, but it is a huge contributor to our moral compass. And I've learned this over the years, and I've seen this, and I've watched this, and as I've worked with hundreds of coaches across the country, and as I've helped thousands of people achieve their goals, and as I've delved deeper into accountability and learned as much as I can and more every day, every week, and so on, I have found that the number one contributing piece to people achieving their goals, and I am on a fluctuating roller coaster with all of this, but we all are, because we're all trying to figure it out. The fluctuating piece is your personal accountability. I teach that there are 4 irrefutable laws of accountability, and I call them high performance habits. As you can see over my left shoulder here, I'm delving deeper into high performance habits and learning as much as I can so that I can understand it better and help more people. But this is a very interesting area to me because a lot of us struggle with even the simplest part of accountability, which is our ability to commit to ourselves. For the longest time, ever since I had a nightmare of a dream, and I've talked about this before on the air, but I had a dream, to just sum it up in less than 60 seconds. I had a dream that personal devices, screens, televisions, and computers were actually the demise and the downfall of humanity, because the ones who were creating the screens and creating the contents behind the screens were those who actually were high up in the linguistic programming and hypnosis groups, and they were using it to hypnotize the consumers. Getting a call. Hope that doesn't block off my sound here. Okay. And in this dream, I realized that because everyone was watching television, everyone was watching their screens, they were getting sucked into these hypnotized belief systems that they would be able to grow and be rich and wealthy and have prosperity, but they had to do it through these specific means. And those specific means included the stock market, a couple other paths, and banking results. And people just were buying into this, and no one was getting richer. Nobody was climbing the economic scale. Everybody was staying put. Poverty was staying impoverished. Middle class was on the verge of impoverishment, and so forth. And in this dream, I realized that if I did not join a particular, let's call it militia, that was commissioned to go out and destroy these screens and to reawaken the American people, that we would all suffer and die because we could not experience true prosperity. I know, crazy dream. It was a wild dream, but ever since that day, I've always thought to myself, instead of going home and watching Netflix after a long day's work, instead of going home and popping on a movie or scrolling through social media, what if I instead invested in myself every day, and I went home and I spent time with my family? I did some workouts. I cleaned the house. I did stuff that mattered to my ecosystem. And then in part of that ecosystem, I contributed to the internal contributor of that ecosystem by focusing on my health, my mental health, my capacities to grow, my capacities to retain, that my growth in my knowledge and my intellect would improve based on the time spent studying, based on the time spent encouraging and stretching and being involved in resistance training for my knowledge and in my understanding and in my health. Isn't that an interesting concept? And ever since then, I have always thought about this as my personal accountability system. I know how much wealthier I could be. I know how much happier and strong I could be. I know how much more successful and prosperous my family could be at this point if I laid off the typical worldly temptations like watching television. And I'm not saying that television is wrong. I'm not saying that screens are wrong. I'm not saying that social media is wrong. I love them all. But I'm just saying for myself, I know where I could be if I neglected those habits and I increased the habits of consuming a regular dose of that which will make me stronger, better, smarter, healthier, happier. Right? And isn't that the truth of it all? Isn't that where it all belongs? Isn't that where it all stems from? Is that we just want to be happier. And what revolves around happiness? Well, let me share with you. I've got a couple things here that I love to reference. Okay, here we go. Let me just pull this out here. Hey. So I learned this from a good friend, Levi McPherson. Shout out to you, my brother, my friend. This goes back to when we did the Prosperity Gym Mastermind. And together, Levi taught me that the drivers behind human movement, why we do anything, why we prosper, why we buy, why we do anything, is because of a few select drivers. And the first one is vitality. Okay, and I love vitality. The vitality of life itself, community, friendship, family. We all seek vitality within our social circles, within our work, within our being. It's just part of what we create and what we're creating. Vitality is number one. 2 is lifestyle. We seek lifestyle. Okay, we compare to the Joneses. We seek what we know, what we've seen. Okay, we seek that which we've discovered, which we've seen, what we've, and I'll go and use the word tasted because it's the description I used early on in this broadcast, which is I got a taste of what greatness could look like. And knowing if I ever settled for mediocrity, that would be the destruction of me and my life, because that in itself was more of an undertaking than actually heading down the path of achieving my personal contribution and greatness to the world. That to me was more important because I saw what was capable, what was compatible, what was opportunistic for the future of my life. And that in itself is huge. So again, vitality and lifestyle are 2 incredible drivers for humans, right? A third one is belonging. And I feel like on the spectrum of high to low, this is my highest. On a spectrum of belonging, my ultimate driver, I just want to feel like I belong to something. I just want to feel part of the community. I feel like I want to contribute. I feel like I want to be somebody other than just nobody or just a regular somebody. I've always wanted to be more than just somebody, right? So those are some drivers that are very, very important. The fourth one is progress. Progress is a huge driver for a lot of people. Progress is the thing that gets us out of bed. It's the thing that gets us to go into work. It's the thing that gets us from thinking, you know what, I'm just going to skip today. I'm just going to say nope and head back to bed. I'm just not going to show up for work, even though people depend on me and that it's my livelihood. Progress is what keeps us going. And when we tap into our inner progress and the reasons behind it, all of a sudden our inner ability to create personal accountability for ourselves is going to fuel that belonging, that lifestyle, and the vitality that we seek. Progress. Everyone wants to grow. Everyone wants to learn. Nobody is complacent with where they're at, except for those who have lived a long life and are complacent with where they've reached, what they've created, and what they've done. All of that said, there is so much out there that we can progressively grow within ourselves. The last driver I'll share with you, even though there are multiplicities of more drivers, that was a breakfast burp, is meaning. Meaning is a huge piece to why people do what they do. Meaning is so profound. They need purpose. A lot of people are wandering around flipping through Instagram and they're finding no meaning behind what they're doing. But the second they go out and pick up a piece of trash or donate a little bit of change to somebody, all of a sudden the feelers turn on and there's a sense of meaning behind all that they've done and that all that they're doing and all that they're working towards. There's meaning. Why did I eat breakfast this morning? Why did I go on a run? Why did I do some yoga? Why did I do any of that? The meaning behind what we do is far important for a lot of humans. You take all these principles, all these key drivers, and you combine them, and you go back to that progressive mentality. And I'll tell you that as soon as you've tasted the capacity or tasted the capabilities that your human powers possess, all of a sudden mediocrity is not worth it. In fact, I would rather die than settle for mediocrity. So many times I've been working in a professional environment where I was placed together with a team that I had no control over. And together we had to produce something together. And as a result of the production of that product, we focus on creating something that is above average, that is greater than average, greater than mediocrity, that we focused on something that was worth living for, that was worth presenting, that was worth putting our names behind, that was worth every little ounce of energy that we could do through all that we possess. So personal accountability is one of the greatest opportunities that humans have been given, because we can now see beyond what regular innate capabilities are and focus on the capacities that we will achieve. Again, I'll reiterate the beginning of this story. The story was that as soon as I got a taste of what it would be like to accelerate my success and accelerate my life in a better and more progressive and fun and interesting way, I realized that I would rather die than settle for mediocrity in any aspect and in any area of my life. And because of that, I have changed every little paradigm of thought process. And the days when I come home and I said, today was an average day, I feel like putting a giant red circle or an X or a giant question mark on that calendar day, because that day did not make sense in the progression of where we were headed. Does that make sense? So a lot of what I'm talking about is that there are 4 irrefutable laws of accountability that can cause a person to achieve ultimate success, high performance, accelerated growth in their life and in their business and in every area of their life, exceeding the capacities of mediocrity and introducing themselves to a higher plane of thinking, living, and breathing. It's an incredible, magical place. And it's where we all ought to be. In the post, I actually dropped quite a few links, But I just wanted to share with you guys today the inklings, the beginnings, the first pieces of what I call the 4 irrefutable laws of accountability. And in those laws are principles that which you have moving in every area of your life. Now, if you take advantage of every single one of these laws, you will see your life and the abundance that you can receive increase dramatically in every area of business, life, health. And let me go through these drivers: through vitality, through lifestyle, through your belonging, through your progress, and through your meaning. All of those things combined lead to incredible opportunities and greatness. Let me take a time out here and just say hello to Carmen. Carmen says hello. Carmen Rivera, it's so good to hear from you. I'm glad you're watching, and thank you for your sweet message over the weekend. That was very, very kind. By the way, Carmen, you met me through the Habitude Warrior Virtual Global Summit, which you were a participant in, I believe. And when you were watching that, you messaged me as one of the team players. And so I appreciate you for doing that. And I wanted to reintroduce you to Mr. Eric Swanson, who's watching, who is the founder of Habitude Warrior and who runs those events. And I would highly, highly advise that you reach out to him as well. Send him the same sweet message you sent me. Okay. I appreciate you, and I appreciate what you're doing in the world. And I hope that this helps you. I hope that this gives you direction, and it gives you a purpose in where you're heading, instead of helping any of us settle for mediocrity in our life. She says, you're very welcome. Awesome. Awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Appreciate you, Carmen. Let me tell you some things as we take this quick break here. Some of the things that I'm looking for right now. I'm asking for things. Oh, good. She said, I did, John. Good. I'm glad you reached out. I'm glad you reached out to Eric. He is awesome and amazing. Some of the things that I'm looking for right now, right here, is I'm looking for somebody who has expertise in turning a service-based website, okay, like mine, let's take my website, for example, and turning it into an online store, okay, or a place where products can be sold. I'm looking for somebody who can help me with that. If that is you, please send me a direct message and please explain to me how you would go about converting a service-based website into a product-based website. And not for the sole purpose of becoming a product-based website, but because it has brand recognition and that it can sell product as well as services on the same site. Cool. There's a challenge that I'm looking for people. If you know anyone, tag them in the comments section. Tell them that John Kovacs is looking for them. Okay. Another thing that I'm looking for right now, and this is just me spouting out and asking the community, okay? And I'm looking for things and looking for people who have expertise in this area. You see, my virtual assistants right now are in a really cool place where they're building a lot of ebooks and ebook materials for the content I produce and for the content that my clients are producing. And while I am in love with the products that they're creating, I'm also looking to enhance their capabilities and their training in ebook creation. And so if there are anybody you know out there that are masters of creating ebooks, okay, that can be used and sold on Amazon for a very, very affordable price and for sold on Kindle and so forth, I would love to be connected with those people because we are producing content on a daily and rapid basis. And because of that, we need someone who can keep up. We need to be able to help our VAs and help them keep up and so forth. So it's very interesting as we're taking this quick break here. I want to point to the actual post of this video. And in there, I've asked quite a few things, but if you are in search of developing and understanding the 4 irrefutable laws of high performance and accountability, go ahead and download my free ebook. Okay. The free ebook is called The 4 Irrefutable Laws of Accountability. And you can get it for free just by clicking that link and signing up. Okay. That allows you to receive further messages from me if you would like to, but also it helps us to understand if you've enjoyed the book or not, because we're going to follow up, right? And then the second piece is like my Facebook page, please. That would allow us to connect on an even deeper level, because there I'll be creating course material and opportunities that you can't see on my personal profile. The next thing is join our private Facebook group. It's not really private. I just say that because it is kind of a great community. We just let people in, and then as they perform and provide, we keep them. When people don't perform or don't contribute, we kick them out. So because the group was supposed to be intended for the return on relationships and connections that you can build through each other. So this is not a threat saying, if you're not active, I'm going to kick you out. This is me saying, come and join an active community that will help you align yourself with incredible people, that will help you get paid, and that will help you find prosperity in your life. And then the last request I made was go please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You guys, there's some really great content on there. You can catch any of these live videos. And we're actually using my VAs right now to chop down those videos and to create incredible content so that you can consume things and get on with your life and have really great connections. You see, that's what it's all about. So I ask those things for you. And if you know anyone in the community that has any of those skills, that would be amazing. I currently have spent thousands of dollars investing in understanding how social media works. And I've been taking several courses, and I've been meeting with several gurus and learners and mentors and yada, yada. And if anybody knows the game of multiple products, multiple companies under one face, and branding yourself in that regard and turning that into opportunities, I'd like to talk to that person, because it's likely that I could set that person up with some great opportunities by helping me, and vice versa by me helping them. But I'm interested in that stuff because I need to learn in this ever-changing world and environment where the world needs to help me, or I need to understand where the world's going, right? And right now with quarantine and pandemic and social distancing, which we don't call that anymore, we call physical safety distancing, and all of that stuff combined, I would say that it's vital to me at this moment to learn the ins and outs of drop shipping, of Amazon businesses, of other businesses, eBay businesses, of product-based websites, and so forth. It's important for me to understand that so that I have a better opinion and a better knowledge and a better experience than what I have right now. So there's me expressing to you, my community, to reach out if you have any resources that I can partake in, that I can learn from, and that I can delve deeper into understanding. And this would call for even one-on-one conversations and more. We've got some exciting things coming up this week, and things that I'm really, really passionate about, and connecting and building relationships. You guys, we're launching the best way to network and to build your relationships within your current phone. Okay, we're doing this. We're doing it this week. We're getting involved. We're getting ready. And I'm going to make a shout out here very, very soon to my good friends over at YPC, the app YPC, Your Personal Connections. And I'm really, really excited that we'll be able to get involved and work with them in regards to some of the things that we're building here. But if you're looking for ways to improve, to network, and so forth, I want to say now is a great time to start listening in and get involved. We actually have a really cool challenge coming out that I think will be awesome for a lot of people who need to build relationships and continue networking. Okay? Awesome. 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 You see, one of the things that I think are very, very important right now is that we be observant, we be helpful, and that we be open to possibility. Okay. If we're not open, we're not willing to change. If we're not willing to change, then we're going to get left behind. And if we get left behind, we shall perish with those running in circles that do not have a planned position for longevity. for vitality, for lifestyle, for belonging, for progress and growth, and for meaning. All of those things combined, we're in desperate need of. So there you go. There's my overarching message for today, you guys. There are 4 irrefutable laws. John, why don't you tell us more about the others? Because I want you to download my free ebook, and we'll talk about principle and law number 2 tomorrow. And this week, I'm also working on bringing on some guests, as today is just kind of a recap in an open environment. And I've got a lot of really good stuff I need to get going on. And some really cool people in my life have really made this awesome. So I'm looking forward to the things coming this week. So I'm interested to hear on what your expectations and what your intentions are for the week. If you would please type in the comment section, tell me what your intentions are this week. What are you progressing towards? What are you going to be working towards, and how is it going to help you align with your future? What are your intentions for the week? My intentions are to be very specific on what I ask for. My intentions are to help you understand accountability better, so that you will understand where you need to add to your life, so that you will have experience in creating vitality and progress in every area of your life. Okay. Another intention of mine is to continue reading versus screen watching. Though I don't necessarily believe wholeheartedly in the dream that I shared at the beginning of this call, I do believe that there's a point to it. And I'm nervous, truthfully. And maybe this is an opportunity for me to show some vulnerability, but to share with you one of my greatest fears. You see, in human development, as early as age 25, they have found links to Alzheimer's and all types of dementia-based diseases that are found in strands of the brain and strands of the bloodstream as early as age 25 in some cases and in some people. Now, we possess all of the strands that can lead to those diseases. But one of the things that I've recognized in myself, and not that I'm saying that I have symptoms of dementia or Alzheimer's, that's not what I'm saying, but I do know that it's in my family. And even just knowing that it's in our genetics and in our blood gets me a little freaked out. And because of that, I recognize that when I spend time in front of video games, in front of television, in front of things that capture my attention differently than anything else, and if I spend extended amount of time in front of those things, I become forgetful. I become unaware of my surroundings. I oftentimes justify vital details, and I lose out on a lot of feelings that come from living life. And instead, I find myself in horrible neck and back positions, just consuming and watching content from a screen. And that, to me, is not an indicator of Alzheimer's or dementia, but just knowing that that's the vegetable state that we could head down if I continue to consume hours upon hours of that particular habit, that I believe I could end up living a shorter life than most. I think that, and I believe that. Not that it's fact, not that it's true, but I think it's a great possibility that I could obtain that. And I don't think that for anyone else. I don't judge anyone else. I don't think that of anyone in the world other than myself. And because of those thoughts, I have an intention this week. See where I went? I did full circle there. It took a while to get there, but I went full circle in creating a lot of purpose behind reading books and consuming content that will build my life and build my intellect and in my brain sharpness, so that I can improve and grow stronger and have a sharp mind. Somebody said it the other day. They were an older gentleman or an older individual, and they kept sharing and they kept saying that they loved talking to this older person because they were still in their 90s and sharp as a tack. And that was one of the coolest comments I had ever heard. I said, okay, sharp as a tack. I want to be known as sharp as a tack into my 90s. I want to be known as sharp as a tack through my hundreds, right? And we were at a mastermind meeting once, and one of the young gentlemen at this mastermind said, they just turned 20, and they're like, I'm working on my 90-year plan. And I'm doing some math here. And I'm like, 90 years? And you're already 20? That's going to put you at 110 years old. I like my math there, guys. I'm so good at math, right? And I kept thinking to myself, I didn't think about that. Like, I create the distance that I go. I just, as I said that word in that combination, I thought of Hercules. He says, I can go the distance, right? And as I think about that, I recognize that we create in our minds, as long as they're sharp, as long as they're intentional, and as long as they're contributing to the biomolecular structure of our body and our beliefs and our blood flow and our health, that we can create all that which we want. I may or may not live to be 110 years old, but I sure hope I do. And I sure hope I do at the best of my abilities. No, I don't want to be a vegetable. No, I don't want to be hurt. No, I don't want to be in a wheelchair. But if I can live and be sharp, then that is worth pursuing. That is worth living for, right? That's worth every single thing that we do. And I believe in that wholeheartedly. So with 7 minutes left to offer advice, to offer instruction, and to challenge you, I'm curious what your intentions for the week are. I told you mine. I want to know what yours are. And when you do find yours and you do share, I will comment and we will have a great conversation. There's a lot of challenges out there. Challenges seem to be the thing, right? On TikTok, I feel like there's a new challenge every week. They're either music based. They're either take a photo or a video a certain way based. There's a challenge out there on how to. I love it. How people, like, whenever I'm live, people like see my face and then they just assume that now's a good time to call. Like, I probably get 20 phone calls during every broadcast and I get 30 text messages. It's like, guys, don't you realize I'm live right now? Like, can't it wait? But I appreciate you guys reaching out to me. If you're reaching out via Messenger, I hope that it's specific to what we're working towards. Okay. So again, you guys, this is a really, really cool opportunity. I had some discussions with some very, very, I will say, respected professionals in the medical space, people who are on the epidemiology committees, people who are public health professionals, people who know what they're talking about. And I am optimistic that things will get better. However, I do know the projections for the waves that come in pandemics, and for a lot of people who are sick and tired of being stuck at home, being in quarantine, and being in a scenario of having to be locked up. You guys, it's only going to get longer and it's only going to get worse from here, because if history repeats itself, which history has an awe-striking capability of repeating itself, that the first wave is like the first earthquake, but the next wave is what does the most damage, right? And so this is the first wave. I know people are getting sick and tired of staying at home. I know that people are saying that it's warmer outside and that their summer activities are being ruined and that their rights are being infringed upon. And look, I'm just advising you that you recognize that this isn't anywhere near from being over, And so just stick it out. Be safe. If you haven't prepared by now. Just know that this isn't over. And because it's not over, you've got to be prepared. Okay. We went through the first wave. People stole toilet paper from each other. It was kind of nuts. It was kind of crazy. But this next wave, we need to be more serious and more prepared and better. Okay, so there you go. I hope that this is helpful. This has been an awesome hour. I've got a lot to do today. Please reach out. Please take advantage of those free downloads. Please come and like my page. Please follow our YouTube channel where you can get this information and grow with us, because that's all that matters to me. At the end of the day, I hope that you succeed. I hope that you have an incredible, fulfilling opportunity to grow and build and do all that you can. So I appreciate you all, and I hope that this shows that you have the capabilities of never settling for mediocrity, but finding opportunities within and giving yourselves the capacity to grow and to never ever settle for mediocrity, but seeking the highest level of vitality, lifestyle, belonging, progress, and meaning in your life and in your business, because it affects everyone around you. I call it the good kind of selfishness. If you can't take care of yourself in the best ways, then why on earth are you trying to take care of others? It's the world's greatest baffling question. If you can't take care of yourself, why are you trying to take care of others? Sometimes we're better at taking care of others than we are ourselves. And that's truth. And I've seen that happen in a lot of people's lives. But wherever we're at, wherever it is, I just want you to know that there's truth and knowledge and fact behind it all. So this has been an awesome hour. I appreciate you guys. Please share with me your intentions. Please take care of and advantage of these free offerings. And I can't wait to keep serving you as I will announce this week who we're talking to and what's going on our show. Okay. Appreciate you. Have a great day.